Just one moment, just gonna start our live. Just one moment. Okay. No, I don't want a green screen tonight. All right, just trying to get set up here. Just trying to start a poll. This is a new feature that YouTube has when you go live, so I'm just trying to get it together. So just give me a moment. Okay, I'm just putting a question here. Okay. Okay. Hi, Nista. How are you? Girl, good to see you. Just one moment. I'm just trying to get myself set up here. Trying to play with this YouTube stuff here. One second. Okay, I think we're good. I'm just trying to get it together. I was trying to put up a poll. YouTube actually has a poll now. It's something new that they're doing where you could create a poll to ask your guest questions. So I hope everybody's good. So first thing, hello team, welcome. It's good to see you. Um last Hi Decatur. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I did a series on credit, just regular basic credit. But then while I was doing the series on credit, I had someone, say to me in the comments, they were like, "Can you please talk about business credit?" She said to me, she said, "Everybody knows about regular credit." She said it's a little bit cliche. She says, "Just focus on business credit." So I said, "You know what? I'm going to focus on business credit." So as I always tell people, I always have my pen and paper because I want to give you good information. I don't want to, just wing it. I just don't want to tell you things. I want to tell you actual, you know, volumes going in and out. Okay. Can you hear me better? Is this better? All right. Can you hear me a little bit better, Nista? All right, give me a moment. I think I have a little distraction in the background, so give me a moment. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I just turned off the distraction, so I hope that you guys can hear me a little bit better. Is this better? Okay. So, I said, let me do a series on business credit and like how to start, because a lot of people don't actually know how to start business credit or how to get business credit. Everybody's so centered on their personal credit. So first thing, let's define exactly what business credit is. So business credit is basically financing for your business. Just like how a credit card company would finance you and they would, give you credit. Same thing with banks. They offer business credit. They could give it to you. And you could use business credit to buy, to buy supplies for your company. You could use it, to make purchases. You could use it to fund other things, other projects, etc. So business credit is something that anybody wants to have when they have their business. But the question is, or not even so much the problem, the issue is, how do we set it up? How do we start it? Still going in and out? Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm not muted. All right, I'm going to try again. Okay, I just turned this up. Right. Oh, wow. How about now? Can you hear me a little better? Because I think my mic was muted before. Can you hear me a little bit better, Nista? All right, let me try. Let me just try to, to continue and so forth. I'm sorry if you're having a little trouble hearing it. All right. So as I was saying, with business credit, like people don't know how to get it. They don't know where to begin. But I think with any business, it's good to have money for your business. It's good to have financing because with any business, you can't purchase stuff based off your own personal money. You got to have some type of backing in the business. And when you have business credit, that's basically backing, financial backing in your business. But the question is, a lot of people don't know how to get it. So let's talk about how to get it. All right. So if you want to try to get business credit, this is the first thing that you need to do. You need to basically establish a business. Okay. Getting business credit is not based off your personal credit. You have to have a business. So when you have a business, you could have you a LLC, you could have you a corporation, any form of business that's registered with your state or wherever you live or your chamber of commerce. That's basically how, you start your business. Because remember, your business is a number, right, that they're going to use to qualify you for funding in the future. So you definitely need to have a business. All right. And when I say have a business, I don't mean, you just tell somebody next door, oh, I do this, I cut hair, whatever. You actually have to register it with the Chamber of Commerce. If you're centered in the U.S., that will be with your state. And yes, there are people that register businesses in other states, but just for today's sake and getting your business established, you're going to register your business in your state. You're going to register it with your Chamber of Commerce. All right. Okay. So once you do that now, you register your business, everything is going good. You're trying to make purchases, your business is growing, but you still are not getting any bites. You've gone into banks, you can't get anything, so you keep applying. You need to ensure that your business is basically serious, like it's seriously listed, like it's a real business. It's not just a fly by night. You're telling people I have a business. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about literally it being on pen and paper, where people are actually looking, and if they were to Google you, they could find your business because you have a real number, you have a real tax ID, you have a real Dun & Bradstreet number. All right. So let me talk about the second thing that you need to have. Once you have an established business and you register your business, you register your corporation. Here's what you need to do. You need to have something like a business address. Now, yes, you can rent a place depending on the type of business you do, but you need to literally establish a business address. And establishing a business address is very easy. You could easily go online and Google how to get a business address. It'll tell you exactly what companies that you could use to get you a business address. You want to have a business address because a business address is very, it's official. A business address is official. It's real. They take you more seriously. You're not going to have your business, correspondences coming to your home address. Because it's like, okay, I mean, it's okay if you have a home-based business, but if you're really trying to get business credit and you're trying to learn how to get business credit, why would you be having, your business correspondence coming to your home? You want to kind of separate the two. Just like when you eventually start getting business credit, you separate both of them. You don't use your social security number to get business credit. You're going to use something called your tax ID or your EIN number, which is what I'm going to go into after. All right. So now that you have your business address, you also want to have a business phone number, okay? And I'm not talking about going out and, basically connect another phone. There's many services that you can use to get a business phone number. Again, as I always say, Google is our best friend. Once, we have Google, we could always look up how to get things, but these things are easily available, okay? That's how you do it. All right. So now you've officially established your business, right? Hi, Ronnie. Thank you for joining me so much. Thank you so much. We're talking about getting business credit tonight. All right. Thank you so much. You guys, come on, give me some likes. If you like what I'm talking about, give me some likes. I'll put a comment in there so I can know exactly what you guys want to hear. But tonight's live is good because we're talking about how to get that money with our business without stressing ourselves. Right. So now that you have your address, I talked about getting a phone number for your business or getting some connected. If you don't have a phone number, you could always start using your personal number, whatever, get you a little Google number, anything that you need to get, your business phone number. All right. Perfect. Now, you have all of those things. You remember initially when you opened when you registered the business with your state, when you literally went and you either formed your LLC or your corporation, right? In order for you to do it, you had to get something called the EIN number or the tax ID number. This is the meat and potatoes of your business. This is what the lenders are going to run to see if you qualify for anything or if your business qualifies for financing. Thank you, Bender. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we're talking about business credit tonight, how to basically start business credit and what business credit is. I'm talking about the setup of getting business credit. So now let me pivot back. So now that you have your business set up, you're going to get your tax ID number. Tax ID number is your business's identification number. Okay? Whenever you go into a bank or you call a company, you apply for business credit, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what's your tax ID number? Tax ID number, that means your business is legal, it's for real, it's legit. It's just like, the tax ID number is basically your business's social security number, if you want to put it that way. That's what recognizes your business as being official. Okay? And again, and this is how you communicate with the IRS with your tax ID number. This is what makes it official. This is how you pay your taxes on your business. This is how you claim benefits. This is how you use your tax ID to get certain benefits of having a business. Without a tax ID number, you don't have a business. It's not word of mouth. All right? So that's what that is. So, now we have our business phone, we have our phone number, we have our address. Now we have our tax ID. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your likes. All right. So now that you have your tax ID number, sometimes like when you go on Google or wherever, you look it up and you'll see, you just look up a business, you see the history on the business. That's because you've gotten your business listed. Okay. Yes, Google lists your business. Yes, other places list your business. But how do you officially get your business listed? How do you get people to find you? How do you get people to know that you're a real legitimate business? All right. Here goes the other numbers. Here goes the other numbers. Or here goes the other places that look at your numbers. We're talking about your Dun & Bradstreet number. So for those of you that don't know what Dun & Bradstreet is, Dun & Bradstreet are people that basically keep tabs on your business. They're like they're basically one of the business credit bureaus. Okay? Dun & Bradstreet keeps tabs on your business. And they also, I think they're really good because they let people know if let's say a place wants to qualify you for financing. All they have to do is just really look up your Dun & Bradstreet number. Any legitimate corporation always has a Dun & Bradstreet number. Okay? DNB, and it's something that you could easily apply for. But as with any type of business and getting your business credit, any type of setup, everything is done in steps. It's not something that you do like the first day, but once you get your business established and it's up and running, you might want to think about applying and getting your Dun & Bradstreet number. So speaking of credit, let's talk about the business credit bureaus a little bit. Just like with the other lies, when I was talking about personal credit, I say that your personal credit is basically your report card. Right. Same thing with the business profile. Same thing with the tax ID number. Every month, they report, how you do with your business. They report like how you pay your creditors. Because remember, you're trying to establish business credit, right? And I also want to mention that if you're able to get like business credit, whether it be like loans or they give you something called merchant accounts or you get credit cards, it doesn't matter what you get with business credit. When they see, just like your personal credit, that you have a history or a track history of paying off your credit or of paying off your monthly business bills, etc., that opens up the gate for you to get more financing and more credit, because the point of getting business credit is to be able to get financing, right? You want to get financing. If you're not getting financing, how are you going to fund or pay for the things in your business unless you're going to use your personal money that you get privately, right? So this is the reason why it's so important for us to establish business credit, because once we establish business credit, we know exactly where to get funding or where to get financing is. Even if you have a business and a business is doing really well and it's thriving and everything is going good, you still want to be able to have funds or have money, have some type of backing for, your credit, for your business, okay? In order for you to have credit. Business credit is essential. And a lot of people, when they open up businesses, I don't know about now because, with the age of technology and everything, a lot of people are more informed about things. But a lot of people, when they initially opened or their businesses, they weren't really taught about getting business credit. Speaking of opening businesses, many times when you go in a bank, and when you go in a bank and you open a business account, which is what I'm going to get to next, those banks most times will offer you a business credit card. Okay, they'll offer you a business credit card, or they could offer you a merchant card, right? Depending what your business is. Everybody's business is different, but again, every business should at least try to start with a business credit card. Okay, so let's segue now. After we've gotten our business listed, we've gotten our Dun and Bradstreet number. I briefly talked about, the different credit bureaus that actually report your business. Let's talk about opening the business bank account. Right. So we have our personal bank accounts, right? And many times people tend to, to want to use their, many times people tend to want to use their business. One second. Hold on. Right. Many times people tend to want to use their personal checking account to, to do their business transactions. We never want to do that. We never want to do that. What we want to do is separate our business accounts from our personal accounts. So once you have your business established, because remember, you're going to have your transactions come in, you're going to open up a business bank account. Right. Now, how does the business bank account go? You're going to go in there, you're going to bring your articles, your documents showing that your business is actually established. Okay. Once you establish that, right? Once you establish the business bank account, you're going to show the bank that you're having transactions come into it. So again, this is where the bank is going to ask you. They're going to say, okay, what's your business address, your business phone number, and so forth. Many times when they're opening it, some of them might ask you for your Dun and Bradstreet number. Again, it's not something that you have to have right away, but once you essentially have it, you could always go back and give it to the bank. Those are the things. And of course, you're going to have all your paperwork that shows, when you open your business, you're going to show, the articles, etc., that you're a registered business, that you're actually a legitimate, real business. That's exactly what you're going to do. Okay, one second. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. One second. I have somebody rude on the live. So, right. Okay. Right. Okay, where was I? Sorry. And again, when you come on this live, you're going to actually, if you decide to stay on this live, you're going to listen and you're going to try to get the information. But we're not going to have anybody that's disrespectful or rude on the live, because I take away from people that actually legitimately want to listen. So I'm sorry that I had to be interrupted. I had to, get somebody off the live. All right. Anyway, so we talk about our business being listed, and now we're having our bank accounts. We have to have a bank account. We have to separate our transactions. You don't want to mix it up, because later, again, when you go for financing or you're trying to get business credit, one of the things that they might ask you for, your business bank statements. You want to show that you're just having, Bander, you're good. You just want to show that you're having actual, business transactions. Okay. Now, if you have your business bank account, you have your business credit card. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. So if you want to open it, you have to show that you're actually having business transactions. That's exactly how you do that. Okay. Right. So you separate your business bank account. And of course, whole thing with the IRS, when you file your taxes, you have everything separated with your established business. So that's the business bank account. Okay. Now, let's go back. All right. Hold on. Okay. Let's go back now to talking about the business credit bureaus. All right. So I mentioned Dun and Bradstreet, right? I also needed to mention the other ones. We have Experian Business, and we have Equifax Business. Okay. Those are the ones that we have. So once you get your business established, remember, just like your personal credit, they're going to be reporting to these credit bureaus. Now, the big question here is that do you actually get a business score? Yes, you do. You do get a business credit score. You do get a business credit score. Business credit score is anywhere from 0 to 100. Unlike our personal credit where they start wherever from 0 to like up to 800 something. That's different, right? That's what our business credit score does. You have to have a business credit score, all right? And again, lenders, if they want to extend financing to you, they're going to check your business credit score. So it's very important. How do we get a good business credit score? We literally have to pay our business bills back on time. Now, you might ask yourself, what are some places that you can apply? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, so now you go to the three you get to the three business credit bureaus. They're reporting everything for you. Okay, again, just like your personal credit, you want to be able to pay your business bills on time. Same thing. You're getting your business report card every month. All right. If you're not getting your business report card every month, it's not good because you're not allowing lenders to see. Okay. They're not, lenders aren't seeing that you've been responsible in your business and you're paying back your business. You're paying back your business loans. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, let's talk about something else. Okay. 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 Now, let's talk about how our personal credit reflects on our business credits. All right. So again, before you apply for business credit, you also have to have good credit. Okay, you have to have decent credit because you have something called PG. Okay, you have something called PG, which is your personal guarantee. All right. So, okay. So your personal guarantee, basically, before they qualify you and when they run your profile, they want to see if your credit is good. So if your credit is good, whatever, they're going to qualify business credit off of that, because although you run it separately, you run business credit separately from your personal credit, they still look at your personal credit profile to see how you've been paying your bills. All right. They want to see how you've been paying your bills, how you've been doing with it. Now, if you've been paying your bills on time, you've been doing good, it's going to help you with your personal guarantee with your business credit. All right. Okay. I don't know, this person on my live, they're obsessed with me, and I keep removing them, but hold on a second. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. But whoever that keeps coming on the live and you're being rude, whatever, I do appreciate you watching because you are giving me some wonderful watch hours. So thank you so much. Right. Thank you. But I'm not going to have you distracting other people on the live. Nista, I've timed him out several times, but I think it's someone personal that's just being real. I've timed him out. I've reported it and so forth. But I don't know. They keep bypassing YouTube system. Right. I've timed him out several times. I've timed out, reported all those things, and they keep coming on. But actually, I don't mind him because he's giving me some watch hours, which I do need. So that's good. Right. Sometimes the haters, they don't realize that they're helping you. All right. Okay. Now he's back. Now he's back with his hate speech. Hold on. Okay. You said make me a mode so you can keep going. I don't even know how to do that. All right. All right, I tried timing out again. Now, and this that I keep getting interrupted, it's like so hard because it keeps throwing me off. I remember the first time he interrupted me, I was talking about the bank account, and I talked about the listed, and I talked about the Dun and Bradstreet, and I think I was talking about the PG, the personal guarantee. Right. Okay, so let me just try to back up a little bit on that. If he comes on again, I'm sorry, I'll just like literally time him out again. Right. Make you a moderator. Okay, okay. 1 second. Add as, okay, so add a moderator. Hold on. Now he's coming on as somebody else. 1 second. So just click on you and it says add as moderator, right? Okay. What, managing moderator? Or standard? Which one? Okay, so I'm gonna make you managing moderator, okay? Hold on. Add as moderator. All right. Okay. So I did you as a standard. Oh, okay. It says Nista is now a standard moderator. Is that good or do I change it? Is that good? Yeah, now he's coming on as somebody else. All right, perfect. Thank you. All right. Okay. Now look at this. Now he's even putting in more hate speech. Now he's using the N-word. Oh wow. I just really hope YouTube is watching this. Oh my gosh. A lot of hate on these people. All right. I don't know if you're able to see it. Okay. He'll come back on as somebody else. We're right. Very, very disgusting. All right. So let's go back. Where was I? Hey, Daytime with Nyla. Good to see you. All right. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about business credit. We're talking about trying to get funding and how to set up your business so you could apply for funding. Okay, if you ever want to go with that. All right. Thank you. So, you know what? Actually, Mr. Bean, that I was interrupted before. I'm gonna take it back, literally back to the business bank account because he kept throwing me off. So let me go back to the business bank account. All right. So the business bank account. What I was saying is that it was. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. Now he's coming on as an alien. This guy doesn't give up. So the business bank account. All right. I wanted to talk about like where you can get a business bank account. You can go into any business anywhere and get it. A lot of these banks have business bank accounts. Ones that I personally prefer, like I like Bank of America. I like Chase. I think they give us like a lot of different options. Bank of America, not that I'm doing a commercial for them and so forth. With Bank of America, they often offer you like a business credit card. Okay? They often offer you a business credit card when you first start. And again, I always talk about relationship banking, even with your regular banking or your regular credit. You just have to have relationship banking. All right? You have to have relationship banking with people. Okay? So again, what is relationship banking? Relationship banking is you're doing transaction back and forth with the same bank. You're having your direct deposit, you have your money come in there. They know who you are. For example, like when I go into my bank, everybody knows me. I've been with the same bank for like 17 years, although I have other bank accounts. Okay? So you keep going in your bank all the time and develop a relationship with them. All right? So now, one thing that I want to talk about with the business bank account, why it's so important to get it. When you have a business bank account, okay, you have to ensure that you're doing transactions. All right? You have to ensure that you're doing transactions. And how do you do transactions with the bank? Whatever debit, whatever credit, whatever it is that you're doing, you're making sure that you're showing that you're having transactions come in. Because if you don't have any transactions, they don't see how funds are moving. You're not going to be able to get financing. All right? That's what you do. Okay. Now, let's move on from the business bank account. Let's go back to getting the business listed. You have to get your business listed. You have to put it out there. If nobody knows that your business exists, they're not gonna, nobody's gonna patronize your business. Okay? Nobody's gonna patronize your business if your business is not listed. You have to put the word out there. So one of the first things that you want to do is you want to try to get that Dun & Bradstreet number. Dun & Bradstreet number is easy to apply for. You literally Google Dun & Bradstreet. Once you Google Dun & Bradstreet, what have you, they'll tell you, exactly what you need to qualify for it. All right. So that's how you get your Dun & Bradstreet number. And a lot of businesses, like even if you Google and you look on it, you literally see DNB. That's the acronym for Dun & Bradstreet. Okay. Now, let's talk about why Dun & Bradstreet is good. Dun & Bradstreet is good because it shows credibility. Okay. It shows credibility. It shows that you actually have a legitimate business. It shows that you're paying taxes on your business. It shows that there's income coming in your business. It shows that it's not a fly-by-night business. It shows that it's real. Okay? That's how you get credibility with your business. Okay. Let's jump back into the PG. Now, I'm always talking about personal credit, but tonight we're focusing on establishing business credit. We want to make sure that our personal credit is good. So if you have a business established, right? And when you have a business established and your personal credit isn't good, then what is the first thing you think you need to do? You need to basically, clean up your credit. Okay, if you go back on my channel, you look, I have videos. I have a few videos on how to clean up your personal credit, what you need to do to get your credit score going, get it good again. Because I think the banks look at it that if your personal credit isn't good, how are you going to manage business credit? The difference with business credit is that you get a larger amount. Let's say, for example, let's compare. Let's say you have a regular credit card. You get a regular credit card from Capital One. Capital One might give you $1,000, right? Okay, no worries. What about your business bank? What if you were to get a business card from Capital One? They give you a bigger amount. So, for example, they might start you off with something like maybe like $5,000. Because remember, with your business credit card, you're buying goods. You're buying things. It's not like regular everyday purchases. But the only thing about it is that sometimes a lot of these business credit cards, they don't put any limits on it. I know many years ago, I don't know about it now because I don't have one of their cards, but I know Amex would give you, you spend whatever you want, depending on the status, okay? Give whatever you want. Once you spend that amount of money, the only difference is you have to pay it back at a certain specific time, all right? You have to pay it back at a specific time. So as with regular credit, let's say, for example, with regular credit, it's every 30 days, okay? Business credit, the requirements are going to be different. And of course, when you apply for a business credit card or a business line of credit, you're going to review it before you decide to sign up for it or before you basically, allow it to come through. You're not just going to take any card like that. All right. That's exactly what you're going to do. So business credit in a nutshell, it's good. Business credit is very good because it allows you to buy stuff for your business. Develops more credibility. You get a larger amount, you get a better funding, and you're not under the sweat and the pressure of not having money to fund your business. Okay? That's what happened. A lot of people don't know that there's business credit out there. They don't know that they can get money for their businesses. And other than just getting credit, of course, people have loans, people have grants, but I'm talking about like if you're not able to get those things like the loans and the grants, what do you do? What's the alternative to getting money for your business? The alternative to getting money for your business is basically through business credit, through funding. Business credit is essential, is vital. And I can remember many, many years ago, like when I started like my first business or when I tried to do my first business, what have you, I didn't know about business credit. I didn't know about it. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know that you can basically get funding for your business. I didn't know all that stuff. Didn't know. I didn't know. But again, I always tell people on my channel that everything goes with wisdom. Everything goes with knowledge. Okay, what you didn't know yesterday, you learn tomorrow. And the thing is, there's a lot of people that know about business credit, but again, a lot of people don't give you the sauce. They're not going to tell you how to get it. I always talk about it like, in regular credit, regular financial products, a lot of things people were not taught. And because they were not taught, they're ignorant to some of the things that are out there. They have a lack of knowledge of some of the things that are out there. So this is exactly what I'm saying. Like business credit is fundamental. It's vital. All right. That's how you actually get your business moving, get your business going. So now let's just segue a little bit and talk about when you're actually able to establish business credit. And on the next slide, I'm going to talk about like specifically like, places and where you can actually get business credit from. Okay, because some people are going to say, oh, I don't know where to get it. I know I could just go into a bank. But you have literally corporations and companies that literally give business credit. They want people to use it. Okay. For example, like let's say you purchase paper for your business every month, or you purchase supplies. Okay. Every single time when you purchase those supplies, basically what they do is, they give you like a score. It keeps tabulating all the time when you purchase stuff for your businesses. So there's always an incentive to use it. All right. You have some business credit cards, like depending what you use it for. If you use a certain amount of time, you get like travel miles. I mean, there's so many things. Just like when you're shopping for a regular credit card and you shop for a business credit card, you have to look at what they offer, what the incentives are. Right. And once you do that, you're able to pick the best one for you. You got to basically line them up. Sorry, I got to drink a little water. Right. So those are the good things about business credit cards. I think they're good. I would tell anybody that's starting a business that they should definitely get a business credit card. I think they should definitely try to have some type of financing. I personally don't believe in going to people. 1 second. Okay. All right. Right. I personally don't believe. Oh, and we have such a hot set of people on this live tonight, bringing up these hours. This is nice. This is nice. Right. What was I saying? I personally, thank you. I personally don't believe in asking people for money when it comes to starting anything. I don't believe in, being at somebody's mercy. I have a lot of pride. I don't like being rejected. I don't like being treated badly. And I certainly don't like coming to somebody and asking them for help and then they deny me when I know in the fact that they could really help me. And I talk about it a lot on, my channel too, that borrowing from people is not the right thing to do. All right. It's the same thing with business. A lot of people get their feelings hurt because they figure that, oh, if I want to start a business, I should actually, ask my family and friends to do it. No, don't do that. Okay? Do not do that. When you want to start a business, work on your personal credit first. And once you work on your personal credit and you've established your personal credit, what you need to do is then apply for business funding. Apply for funding. Start by legitimately registering your business. Word of mouth isn't good enough. Word of mouth is good when you're doing a family barbecues. But I'm talking about where you actually want people to take you seriously. You want people to be able to Google and see, your business. You want people to be able to Google and see, okay, if this is real, if this is a legitimate company. They just need to know that you're actually a real company and you have a good track record and you're able to pay those bills on time. All right. You're able to make purchases. You're working with vendors. Another thing I want to talk about with business credit is a lot of the business credit that you're going to get is with vendors. And vendors, again, are people that supply. All right. So, for example, let's say when you finally open your business credit card or, your business account with vendors, sometimes it's not literally like financing that they give you like money on a credit card, but they might open a vendor account for you. That is just as good. Just like I've always talked about, Just like I've always talked about like business, getting regular credit cards and everything like that. You are going to have to be able to get those business credit cards. All right. So you can get your financing from those vendors. Business credit is not just literal money that you could like withdraw or use. Sometimes credit just being able to go to a vendor and get stuff from a vendor, getting supplies for your company. So there's so much ways that you can actually get the money or the things that you need to make it flow. Another thing that a lot of people use business credit for is the big old thing. It's payroll. Now, whether the payroll, I don't know if you're a one-person business or you're going to be two people, you're going to be hiring, you're just a small company with maybe 10 or 15 employees, whatever it is, everybody got to make payroll. And how do we make payroll? You have to have financing. Now you have companies where, especially like merchants accounts, whatever, this, that, and the third, they will allow you to finance your payroll. But again, when they finance you, there, there's going to be interest. The company has to make some money too. So, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for you to try to fund a business on your own. It's just too difficult. It's too hard. And I think that's why a lot of people get discouraged. Now, in the past, I've had a few businesses that I've opened and closed. And the lesson that I learned from like my old businesses is that I didn't know how to fund it. I didn't know how to fund it. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know, who to talk to and so forth. Yes, I went and I got my business bank accounts, but at the time, whoever was in there, they didn't really tell me much. A lot of the things that I talk about, even with the funding and the business, whether it's personal or regular credit, it's through life experiences. All right. But the takeaway from tonight's live is that I just want people to know that if you're starting a business, that you can definitely get funding. You can definitely get money. All right. You can definitely get money. You don't have to be at somebody's mercy asking for funding. No, you don't. And I would not encourage you to do that. Other thing that I want to talk about too, with the business address, some people might say, it doesn't make sense to start up another person, that you have to like basically be at a place to use an address. You don't have to do that. You could always establish your business account online. Listen, companies know exactly what it is. All of this stuff, establishing addresses, establishing phone numbers, all of those things. All of those things, they just want to make that you're official. That's why they're asking you for those things. And think about it. If let's say you go into a company, you go into a business and so forth, right? You want to know that it has a legitimate place. You want it to have a legitimate phone number, right? You want it to have a legitimate phone number. Okay. If you go to another lender and they're asking you for your bank accounts, they want to see that you have legitimate transactions coming in. So it's the same thing with getting business funding. Okay? It's the same thing with getting funding. Business funding is something that takes work. Getting business credit is not something that you can just easily apply for. People that invest in giving business credit or business funding want to make sure that you have a legitimate business. Okay? And that's what today's takeaway is. Having a legitimate business. A business that actually works, that's actually open. A business that has tax returns. That's another thing that I want to talk about too, especially with the business bank accounts. When you go and you apply for anything, one of the first things they're going to ask you for, other than the bank accounts, they're going to ask you for your tax returns. Okay? Okay, somebody says that this is a scammer. No, this is not a scammer. This chat is basically talking about how to set up for business funding if you want to get business credit. I am not asking you for anything. I'm not asking you to give me anything. I don't need anything from you. Okay? I am just teaching the masses or showing the masses how to get business funding, because a lot of people don't know how to do it. Scamming is basically when you ask people to give you money for things that are not legit. I don't need your money. I'm not asking you for money. Okay? Yeah. So that's what that is. So those are some of the ways you get business credit. Does anybody have any questions for me about business credit and about funding? Right. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions about business credit and funding? Oh yes. Let me tell you. In this day and age, it's funny you said that. This is it, because I've noticed everyone that has come on this live, and let me tell you, you got to make lemons into lemonades. And girl, I thank you for being on this live with me. Whatever. Again, this is it. Because now a lot of people, as I always say, a lot of people are being educated. A lot of masses are being educated, because remember, a lot of people that have started business, they didn't know, and that's why a lot of people's businesses fail. You know exactly where I'm going with that. But the difference is we're educated now. We know difference. We know better. That's it. So I remember posting, because I have an Instagram too, and as a matter of fact, a gentleman that seen my Instagram, and he was wanting to say, can you please do the business credit funding? Okay. And so forth. Hold on, I should have put on do not disturb. 1 second. Yeah. Right. A lot of people told us, a lot of people, said, Mel, can you do something on business credit? He's like, I don't know how to get business credit. Of course, people don't know how to get business credit because certain people, they don't want certain people to know how to get business credit. Okay. They don't want a lot of people to know how to get funding for their business. There's another channel that I watch. What's it? Credit Plug. Love his channel. I've been watching Antoine for years. And all he talks about is funding and business and so forth. I mean, I've been watching him for years. And if you actually follow some of the things that he tells you, you can easily get your business credit and your funding. Right. But I wanted to do this because it's a question that a lot of people. Right. So you know about Plug too. It's a question that a lot of people have. How do you get it? You telling people to start businesses. You telling people to get funding, but people don't know how to get it. People don't know. People don't know that you got to actually have a legitimate business. People don't know that you have to have a business address. People don't know that you have a business phone number. People don't know that you have a business bank account. People don't know that you have to get your business listed. And if nobody's telling you or nobody's educated, we're not going to know. Right. We're not going to know. So that's exactly what it is. People don't like information, or they don't like when you give out information to people and so forth. Now, once YouTube, goes through this and puts this live out and everything like that, hopefully when it goes to the algorithm, people see how to get, business, how to get their credit. Even with regular credit, so much information was not taught to people about regular credit. They didn't tell you about, stuff like debt to income ratio. They didn't tell you about, how much percentage you're supposed to spend on your credit card. They didn't tell you that if you didn't pay it, that it was going to ruin your credit. They didn't teach you about charge-offs. They're not teaching people, and people do not like information. People don't want you to share information. People don't want you to share the tea and the sauce and so forth. But I'm going to share it. I'm going to tell it because, again, I'm doing this business credit, this live because I was asked to do it. And I think it's like such a good way. It's such a good way for people to get money for their businesses and to keep going. The most heartbreaking thing is when you start a business and, our people didn't know. And to this day, they don't want people to know how to do certain things. Okay? That's exactly why people are oppressed, because they say anything that you want to hide from certain people, you keep it a secret, right? You keep it a secret. So ain't nobody keeping no secrets here. Right. And so what I'm also going to be doing too, I'm also going to be, but I'm going to do it through Instagram. I'm going to do like a little webinar where if people want to learn about credit, you're going to put like a small fee for me to get everything together, whatever this and that. But we could sit there for like an hour. We'll talk about how to start, where to get funding from. Last month, I don't even know if it's still there, but last month I remember Chase had a thing where if you had a certain credit score, you could get almost any amount. I don't know what the exact amount was. Right. The gatekeeping is terrible. The gatekeeping is horrible. Okay. There's gatekeeping in medical with certain people. There's gatekeeping in jobs. There's gatekeeping with education. Listen, my daughter just went off to college, and I even seen gatekeeping in the financial aid. Yes, I sure did. But again, I'm the type of person where you could say one thing, I'm going to go read about it. I'm going to find out about it. But I understand why people would be upset and angry if certain people want to have their businesses and they're coming up with their business now. Right. Because again, the money's only for certain people. No, it doesn't work like that. Everybody deserves a fair chance to get their business started. And you have to understand, a lot of people have gotten bad advice. I get it. They've gotten bad advice. They've been scammed. They've been, treated terribly, etc. when it comes to their money. But again, this is where discernment and, having faith and learning how to trust in God. The Bible says faith without work is nothing, is dead, basically. This is where you're going to have to work at it and have faith that it's going to work, providing that you're getting the right type of information. Listen, I remember many years ago, I had a salon. And when I opened that salon, I literally did everything myself. It was my own money that was funding it. And at the time, I'm telling you, and this was maybe, I don't even think it was 10 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. Nobody, did you hear me? Nobody told me about business credit. Okay, I remember I had to purchase the furniture, right? I had to purchase the furniture for the salon and so forth. And how did I do it? And I remember it was hard because I had to literally finance it myself. Nobody told me that I could have opened a vendor account. Nobody told me. All that happened was when I went to that bank, and I don't bank with them no more. When I went to that bank and I opened the business account and so forth, they never offered me a business credit card. They never offered me anything. It was later in talking to somebody else that was really not in my community. But yes, that's what I said. It was somebody that was not in my community that literally said, it said, Mel, like, why are you struggling? Like, don't you have business credit? And I said, what you mean business credit? And the person said to me, it was a gentleman. He was like, you don't have to like buy all the stuff yourself. And I said, well, that's what I was doing. And the person said, no. The person said to me, how is your personal credit? I was like, it's fine. And they were like, so, okay, what you have to do is you have to talk to your banker and use your personal credit. And the gentleman said to me, he said, my family has nail salons. He's like, how do you think we opened our nail salons? Right. So, where I'm going with that. Right. A lot of people are afforded opportunities and they're given certain opportunities that a lot of people don't get. But I don't care about that. I just want to ensure that I put the information out there and the masses get it. I want to ensure that people know exactly how they could attain business credit. You don't have to struggle anymore. Yes, you're going to have to do some work to get the credit. Of course, they're not just going to hand it to you. I also have a video on my channel and I talked about, the SBA, and I talked about funding, with the SBA. And again, that's another place, another great, great place. Only time people heard about SBA was when we were having the pandemic. And, and then they was giving out money for legitimate businesses. All them people capitalized on money because they had their businesses, right? They knew. How many people did not even, I know so many people that didn't even like talk to the SBA during the pandemic. All right, move away from the pandemic. What about now? So many people do not know that the SBA exists if they want to get funding for their business other than just business credit. There's so many ways. You see, what people don't realize is that America loves businesses. America likes when people have businesses, because when people have businesses, what businesses do, and it doesn't matter who has the business, what businesses do is that businesses create jobs. And if there's more jobs in the economy, then the economy is flowing. That's what America likes. Okay? That's what they like. So whether it's your company, my company, as long as you have something going, they just want to ensure that the economy is thriving, it's moving. If you ever watch the news or you just happen to glance, one of the biggest things that they talk about is the jobs in the economy. That's what it is now. The jobs in the economy. That's exactly what they're talking about now. Okay? So, in essence, when you create a business or you start a business, and for you to thrive and your business to thrive, you have to have funding. You have to be able to get credit. If you want to put up your own money for your business, that's also fine. But I'm just giving an alternative where people can actually get their funding, where they could actually get the money. Okay? And, everybody talks about the secret. All right? Everybody talks about how to get it. But I'm going to tell you, the secret phrase to getting funding, the secret phrase is basically business financing. Okay? Business financing. That's what it is. Being able to find people that's going to finance your business. Okay? All right. So, that's it for me in a nutshell. We talk about it. I'm going to be doing a second one again, talking about business credit, but I want to dive into it deeper. I want to go into it deeper, and I want to talk about some actual places and the actual steps of how to get business credit and, how to get the funding that you need. Okay? It's so wonderful that you can even get funding. Let's say you got a business and, you want to buy yourself a car. You could even fund or finance your car in your business. A lot of people don't know that. All these people that you see, these rich people that you see, or these very well-off people that you see driving around and so forth, a lot of them, they're getting write-offs for funding, their vehicles or the quote-unquote company's vehicles and so forth in their business. People don't know that. Okay? A lot of places, they're writing off things on their taxes because they have their businesses. And of course, these are legitimate places that are helping people while they're making their money. They're also helping other people to grow. And you listen, and I'm not telling anybody to quit their day job. Right. I'm not telling anybody to quit their day job to start a business. But I just think having a little thing or a little business is a way for people to really come up. And as I always say, level up. All right. It's a way for people to come up and level up and make some money. And I would encourage anybody or everybody to do it. And I'll tell you, Nista, as far as the oppression, let me tell you, next month is my birthday. Right. Next month, God has blessed me. Or will be blessing me to see a few more years. And all these years, so much oppression, so much, but right, so much, but we keep going. Like, we don't care. If you look at the way the world is right now, like, so many people are complaining about oppression, and I was even saying to one of my coworkers, I'm like, some people have been oppressed their whole life. Like, we don't even care. We just happy to be alive, and we're just happy to be blessed, and we just happy, any little information that we could get to make our lives better. And I'm gonna tell you something funny too. I'm gonna tell you one last thing. Because I talk to people, I talk to everybody. I mean, we live in a world where everybody's in the world, right? Different cultures, different races, different backgrounds. I talk to so many people. And when I talk to people, you'd be amazed at the information, like so many people know, some information that you don't even know. You know what I mean? Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, please. I pray. Listen, I put out a video the other day, and I was talking about, when I was talking about, credit and everything like that. And I literally said a lot of things that I learned, that I quit doing a lot of things. I said, I let everybody know I put my prayers first. I put the Lord and my Savior Jesus Christ first. I don't hide it. I'm a devout follower of him. He leads me every day. He has been good to me, and so forth. He has been absolutely wonderful to me, and I don't hide it. I don't let it. Let me tell you something. In life, if you let certain people, certain things, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never get anywhere. And we're not about that. We're about leveling up. I tell people that all the time. We're about leveling up. We're about growing. Right. Every day before I get up and I go to my job, I say my prayers. I thank the Lord for journeying with me. I thank God for showing me stuff, for teaching me certain things. Right. Right. The one thing that I thank God for, and this is the best gift, because a lot of people think that blessings sometimes from God is just like monetary or physical. Oh, God don't bless me with a house. God don't bless me with $1 million. No, just having wisdom and knowing certain things is a big blessing, because remember, when you have wisdom allows you to teach or to learn other things. Right. And what causes a lot of people's oppression? The fact that they don't have any wisdom. They don't have any knowledge. I know a famous scripture, Hosea 4:6. It says in Hosea 4:6, it says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It makes so much sense. A lot of people, because they don't know. And think about it. If you don't know, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to cure it if you don't know? Right. If you don't understand, if you don't know how it works. But what's amazing for me is that so much people have been privy. In another life, I remember telling her, so I'm going to tell you one last story. I remember I was at work one day, and I was in a break room, just getting my lunch. And there was a girl in the break room. And while the girl was in the break room, the girl was talking about savings accounts. And this is, when I was doing my whole series on, getting them high yield savings accounts and everything. And this, I've seen it even on, on your shorts and your videos, where you talked about like, the auto insurance and leveling up with Credit Karma and everything like that. It's facts. It's facts. It's facts. It's stuff is out there. But anyway, back to the girl. The girl was just telling another coworker, and I was in there, warming up my lunch, and I was having to be eavesdropping. And she was like, oh, my other high yield savings account, I was able to get this amount of interest. And this girl's talking about like 4% something. And I'm like, what? So I started listening. And I said to her, I was like, where do you bank, and everything. And she was like, oh, so-and-so. She said, oh, my parents, when I started working as a teenager, this girl's like in her early 20s, she said, when I started working as a teenager, my parents opened a high yield savings account for me. And she said, I'm able to make money on that account. And I said, well, how do you make money? She says, well, remember, she said, miss, the interest rate is really, really high. And so forth. So because the interest is really high, as opposed to the regular, accounts in the bank, you're getting anywhere from 4 to 5%. Because remember, most of these HYSAs, they're fintech companies. They're not paying like regular rent, whatever. So they're able to give people higher interest rates. She said, oh yeah. She said, you have a couple of those? She's like, literally every month you're getting a couple $100s off of your money. But she says the catch and the caveat is that, you know, you have to have a certain amount in there. So if you say you're trying to save and you're sending a certain amount of money to your account, you're doing all these transactions, just like with the business credit. When you go apply for business credit, whatever, they love to see that you've been having transactions. Same thing with the high yield savings accounts. They want to see that you're having the money coming, you're transacting, you're sending the money in every month, right? You're sending the money in every month. Because they're sending the money in every month, they're giving you a high interest. Because remember, that bank is holding on to your money. Banks love it when money come in, okay? They're making money off of your money. Why not utilize them, okay? I always tell people, build your relationship with the bank. So back to business credit. Build relationships with the people that open business credit accounts for you. Build them with the bank, okay? You have you have companies that, not specifically banks, but they just work on funding people, all right? Like I said, the great credit plug, if you were to check him out and so forth, he will tell you every and all places, okay, to get funding or to get business credit. All right. Another lady on our YouTube, what's her name? Noelle. She's the business credit guru, talks about that. And you'd be amazed whenever you watch this lady's channel, you see the people that come on with her. You know, it's a certain type of people that come on there and, you know, they're doing lives and everything with her and they're talking about funding credit. Listen, banks want to give you money. Banks want to fund you. Remember, when you borrow their money and you use their money and so forth, they make money. But unfortunately or fortunately, we live in a world, we live in a place where there's requirements. You can't just go in and get stuff like that. When I mentioned the SBA and I said the SBA offers funding for people with businesses and so forth, I said, look, I said, listen, you don't just walk into the SBA or an SBA office and say, hey, I have a business, give me some money, just fund me. No. You got to go in there. You got to have your business plan. You know, you have to show what your expenditures are going to be. You have to predict what revenue is going to come in. You have to do all of those things. In other words, you have to give the bank a reason, right? Why they should lend you, why they should fund you, why they should give you credit, why they should do it. Don't just say, oh, because I got a business and you know, I'm going to make a lot of money. Prove it. Show me. Now, realistically, I know that stuff happens, you know, whatever. People could lose funding, jobs or businesses close. Yes, but I'm talking about for the duration of when you have your business. If when you have your business and everything is going good, get funding, okay? Get somebody to help you with get your funding done, right? So that's it. You know, that's really it for today. I think this is very informational. Hopefully when, you know, YouTube pushes this video through and people watch it, they could hit me up. As I said, I'm thinking of doing like a little webinar, maybe on the other platform of, you know, if you basically just like a small fee and we could literally discuss and talk about ways and places to get funding from. I think it'd be good because a couple years ago, if I had a place when I had that beauty salon, if I had a place where I knew how to get funding, I think, I mean, I would have been more successful. I ended up having to close. And why I closed was because, again, funding was a problem. Yes, you know, we made a little money, but when I came in, whatever I had, it just went right back out. We have to pay employees, but I never had the backing. I never had that backing that a lot of people have, or that people have with business funding. And why didn't I have the backing? Because I didn't know about business funding. I didn't know. I did not know. And yes, and even nowadays, they're telling people to get funding, and they're saying, oh, just go get business funding and so forth. Okay. Right. I want to get it. The more you grow, the more you know. I love it. I love it. You know, I'm thinking of doing some like updates, you know, on my channel. I want to write that down. The more you grow, the more you know. The more you grow. You're right. The more you know. Yeah. Wisdom, right? Wisdom. Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And it's true. Because if I'd have known about business funding and business credit, and when I had the salon, like I had good credit. I had decent credit. I had good credit. But I didn't know. You know, I had a credit. I had a job. At the time, I even had my home. I mean, I had a few things because sometimes they'll even ask you to, you know, put up things like your personal things. You know, God forbid you default and so forth. You know, I had the stuff, but I didn't know. I had the tools, but I didn't know how to utilize the tools to get the funding. And so this is what I want to show, and this is what I want to teach people, that, it's wonderful to have a business, but just go out there and get what you got to get, so that way you can make your business grow. You can definitely for sure, make some money. Right. This, I have a question. I know you do cash stuffing, and I love it. Like, I literally have to learn how to do it. I think it's a good way for you to save. Like, you got to teach me so I could start doing it, you know? Yeah, like, I want to learn and so forth. And maybe we collaborate and like do something together and so forth. I've just been on my journey, just literally like trying to grow the channel and everything like that. I literally, for the last 2 weeks, I've just been doing like long form I'm not long form. I've been doing lives, and I just been talking about credit, because I got to find out whether business or personal credit. When your credit isn't good, your money ain't right. Like, when your credit isn't good, your money isn't right. You can't buy anything. And even if you buy anything, you get the worst rates. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired. It's like you work and your whole check goes into like bad interest rates, Right. It's like I had a gentleman on there, and I told the gentleman, and I said, listen, I said, if you were to look at all the money that you wasted when your credit was bad, like with all the financing you did, I said, you'd be like a millionaire. He was like, facts. I was like, we not doing that no more. When I started my YouTube channel, yeah, money means nothing without credit worthiness. Because everything, I told a gentleman, I said, if you were to walk into a car dealership and you went in there, you literally went in, let's say you was buying like a $60,000 car, and you went in there and you literally walked in there with $60,000, they wouldn't even want your business. They want to know that you have credibility. They're going to be like, where you getting that money from? They want to see the transactions, just like with the business credit card. They want to see how it's coming in. Okay. Which, let's say you have your business bank account set up and everything like that. Let's say you buying that car through your business. They're going to look and see, in what is it? In July, in August. I think they asked for like 60 days. July, August, and even up till now, September cutoff. They want to see where it's been coming from. Oh, you and him talked about like what business financing today? You guys talking about like what the bank statements, the credibility? Right. Yeah. They want to see that you actually have a legitimate account. They want to see that you actually have money coming through, that you're doing actual transactions. They don't want anything phony. They don't want anything fake. They want it legitimate. And if it's not legitimate, forget it. They're not selling it to you. Right. Oh, I love the credit unions. And I'd even talked about doing a live on credit unions. Yes, I love them. Like, I like credit unions for mortgages. I like credit unions for mortgages and for car notes. Yes, I do. And everybody's big on, what's the one? Navy Federal. Everybody talks about them, but there are like so many credit unions out there. Like, you got where I live, I'm up here on the East Coast. Like, you got the Great Affinity up here. They're good and so forth. Oh, I saw your Benz. Oh, she is beautiful. I hope it's a girl. She is beautiful. I was so happy for you. That's so wonderful. Congratulations again. I posted on your channel. I congratulated you immensely because I thought that was like such a good achievement, and you look so pretty in it. Looks so nice. Looks so nice cruising. I saw you pulling out. I was like, oh, HELOC. Oh, that's another good topic to talk about. HELOC is good. Oh, no, Nissa, I know you work hard. And I always tell people on my channel, I said, as much as I sit and I make these YouTube videos, I go to my job every day. Go to my day job every day. Right. Oh, she's a girl. She's pretty. Nissa's Mercedes-Benz is pretty. Oh, she is so beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Looks so nice. So beautiful. Oh, congratulations. So you said you did it through the credit union. Right. That's good. Oh, yeah, it's a numbers. But I'll tell you something funny. People don't know how to balance their numbers. I remember when I was getting my house, and my mother would tell me, she was like, the numbers have to make sense. She said, when you put in an offer, when you do when you get an interest rate, when they run your credit, when they look at your income, she said it's the numbers. She said it's all about the numbers. You got your oh good. So you've been with that credit union for a minute. You've been with that credit union for a minute. Wow, that's nice. Right? Relationship banking. And I'm gonna tell you, if you go to get your third, if you go to get your fourth, your fifth, up to your 10th card, they will give you credit because you know why? Because you've been with them. They know you. They see your deposits coming in. They see you making your payments. That's what I tell people all the time. Start, people just be going in and think that they're just gonna get products. Oh my God. Oh girl, that's over 20 something years. Oh, that's good. That's good. And the funny thing is, when I first learned about credit, I learned about credit unions 23. Wow. I did mine in my 30s. Next month I'll be 47 years old. I got my house in my early 30s. Yes, I did. And it was so important for me because I wanted my children to like literally grow in a house. I wanted them to see the beauty of having a house. And I got me one of my daughters, like she likes to dance and enjoy herself. And I said to myself, I said, if I was renting, I said, there's no way she could be dancing up and making all this noise in the house. Let me ask you a question. When you got your first house, what made you get a house? Did you just want one? Was it your parents? Was it like a friend? Or like, how did you know like it's good to be a homeowner? Like, how did you do it? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what was your motivation? Like, how did you get your wisdom about doing it? Yeah. You have a boy and a girl too, and I see them. When your dog had passed, yep, I seen your twins on your channel. You have a boy and a girl, Mr. Handsome and Miss Beauty. I saw your kids. Very nice. God bless them. Okay. So because you had the children, you wanted to buy a home for the children to live in. Of course. Of course. Yeah, I live in the suburbs too. I didn't want my children to grow up in the city either. And more so, I was concerned, about the education system too. Like, I wanted my kids to like enjoy going to school and enjoy learning. I didn't want my kids to be like, oh, well, so-and-so is going to be making fun of me. Because, when you live in certain neighborhoods, you know what it is. It's a fashion show, and it's a put you down type of place. That's how it is. There's no motivation. Good. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember many years ago, there used to be this organization. They're still around. It's called the Urban League. And they used to be in the public libraries. And the Urban League used to always be giving people like home buying seminars and how to clean up credit. And it wasn't charging people $1. Because a lot of people, when they trying to buy a house and clean up their credit and stuff, a lot of people end up paying these companies that don't even do nothing for them. Wow. Wow. So do you still have that house now, or you live? Good for you. And the equity is good too on that. It's been years. I tell people, home buying is one of your biggest, if not the biggest investment. And the funny thing is, you're going to see like one of your twins, if not both of them, like buy their home soon. I'm telling you, they're going to follow suit. See, that's what people don't realize. You set examples for your children. You set examples. Because a lot of things that I even see, because I just had my daughter, my oldest daughter, one of my daughters that went off to college. And sometimes when she calls me, she's talking to me and she'd be like, oh, Mom, I did this, what you said. And I'm like, I know you was paying attention. She was like, Mom, of course we was paying attention. It's just like when I'm in the house praying and if they watch. It's like, I can remember once I was in the house and I was praying. Like, I pray every day. Like, I wake up with a prayer line. Like, I just walk and pray. And I remember one morning, I didn't put the prayer line on. And one of my daughters, she said to me, she said, Mommy, she said, what, no prayer line? And I was like, let me find out that you be listening to the prayer line. And you know what, Nista? They watch you so much because the one day that I didn't get up, I don't know what the reason was why I didn't have the prayer line on. The one day, my daughter was like, no prayer line today? I said, okay, y'all are watching. So anything, whether it's a word of prayer, whether it's starting a business, it's buying a vehicle, buying a car, it's, actually just, starting a business, joining a bank, you are a model for your children. Your children watch. And that's why the things that we do, they basically they mirror, they mimic the things that we do. So this is why we always have to try to do the best things that we can to teach our children. I know our children get up and go to school every day, and they see their teachers, but I believe in my mind that that a parent or a guardian, whoever you live with, is your first teacher. And the things that you do, I always hear my daughter is 18 now, and she says, listen, she says, I want to buy me a house when I finish college. She was like, I want to buy me a house. And she said, I want to like get a lot of property. She's like, I'm going to keep my regular job, but I want people to pay me rent and everything. So already, because she grew up in the house the whole time. I remember she was about like 6 when we got the house. She was like, oh, this is better. Mom is able to do more things. Like, we're able to have our barbecues, we're able to go here, we're able to do here. Like, and the thing about it is, like I said, it's wisdom. A lot of things that I started doing later, like I didn't do it at first, but as the years went by, I grew, I got better. And I thank God for that. I thank God every day for my wisdom. But anyway, I'm gonna run now because my phone, I just got the message that my phone is about to die. Wow, not good, but I tried my best. Nista, thank you so much. I need to, we need to talk otherwise, other than on the live. I don't need to get your information. I think I'm going to go on your channel and I'll look, and I'll probably send you emails so we can connect and we can talk better and so forth. I always enjoy watching, and I thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me tell you, God always sends his people to defend you, and you did that for me today. God bless you. Thank you so much, Nista. And team, whoever stayed on the live, thank you so much for participating. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Okay, with that said, see you on the next live. Bye.